What's up mga ka-Agzo? Hello my loves! This is Ma'am Agape and welcome to my MILseries Episode 4. For the Episode 4 of my MIL series, we will be discussing about the media and information languages. So without further ado, let's get started! In media and information language, information can be distributed through various formats or in various ways, not just through words, phrases, or sentences. They can be delivered through pictures or images, videos. If you're a fan of movies or watching movies, or if you have friends who are into movie reviews, there are times na kung nanonood lang kayo ng movie, pero yung katabi mo, parang, oh my God, ang ganda ng cinematography. Oh my God, ang ganda ng music scoring. Oh my God, ang ganda ng ganito, ganyan. So those are the things that we often notice. If you are literate with the terms or the technicalities in making a media content, especially in filmmaking. Media and information language. When we say language, language is the method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of the use of words in a structured and conventional way. In the Philippines, we understand each other because of a certain language, our national language, which is Filipino. But in the context of media and information, we understand media contents because of what we call the media language. Media language are codes, conventions, formats, symbols, narrative structures that indicate the meaning of media messages to an audience. So it is the way how media communicates to the audience through the use of codes, conventions, or symbols, and such. Paano tayo magko-communicate? Paano mag-send ng message yung media source or yung media itself? For example, how does a film send you the message? How would you know if that movie is from a movie poster, for example? How would you know or how would you assume that that movie is a horror movie, a movie about love, killing, thriller movie, and such? Producers send the message to the people through the use of codes, conventions. So what are codes and conventions? Codes are systems of signs that create meaning. So if they are put together, they create meaning. Diba pag sa mga barkada natin, meron tayong secret language wherein tayo lang yung nagkakaintindihan. Parang pag na-mention yung ganitong word, alam nyo na agad kung ano yung ibig sabihin. Pag nagkatitigan, alam nyo na agad kung ano yung nangyayari, diba? Parang ganun din sa media. The presence of that certain symbol or that certain code, it already sends a message. So there are three types of codes. We have the symbolic, technical codes, and the written codes. So what are the differences among these three types of codes? First is the symbolic code. So a symbolic code, with the word itself symbolic, the message is sent through symbols or semiotics. Symbolic codes show what is beneath the surface of what we see. For example, objects, setting, body language, clothing, color, etc. Or iconic symbols that are easily understood. For example, we have a red rose. What does a red rose symbolize to you? A red rose may symbolize love, romance, a clenched fist, kamao. Pag yung bida nakaganito na, ibig sabihin nun, nagagalit na siya, di ba? The interpretation of these symbols, they vary in different communities or in different groups. For example, for some, yung ganito, the Duterte fist sign. What do the colors in traffic lights symbolize? For example, we have the red. The red is stop, the yellow is ready, and then the green one says it's go. Di ba yung colors, meron siyang different symbolisms or meron siyang different meanings. Yung yellow, for some, it is happy. Red, love or blood. Green, nature. Black, darkness or horror or death. Ganun. When we say symbolic codes, they use symbols or objects to represent a meaning. So pag nakikita mo yung symbol na yun or yung object na yun, meron agad message na nasisend sa'yo. Second type is the written code. Written codes, we have the use of language, style, and textual layout, headlines, captions, speech bubbles, language style, and etc. Example, in a newspaper, pinakamalaking part is what we call the headline. The font size of the body, the article itself, should be smaller. As ma-emphasize natin yung headline or yung title ng isang article. Also, we have the use of speech bubbles, especially in comic strips. Speech bubbles are used for spoken words or dialogues. Meanwhile, we have the thought bubble, yung mga clouds na yan. The thought bubble is used if the character is thinking of that certain line. Our third type of code is the technical codes. Technical codes are ways in which equipment is used to tell the story. This includes sound, camera angles, types of shots and lighting, as well as field, lighting, exposure, and juxtaposition. So, technical codes, it is where we use of the equipment. Ito na yung mga, hindi na siya compared sa symbolic codes wherein you use objects. Here in technical codes, we make use of the lighting, the camera angles, the camera shots in sending a message. For example, in a horror movie, syempre, horror siya, so patayan, ganun. Gore, you need dim light. Dapat dark yung environment to establish fear. Also, dito pumapasok yung mga music scoring wherein you make use of the music or the sounds to establish the tone or the mood of the media content. For example, in a horror movie, of course, you will need yung mga creepy na mga sound effects. For example, yung mga crickets or yung mga intense na mga music. Yun. For mga drama naman, syempre dapat parang yung mga sad music, yung mga piano, yung mga Kiss the Rain, ganun, 'di ba? In technical codes, you will be using camera shots and angles. We have different kinds of shots. An example is the extreme long shot. Extreme long shot covers a wide area, thus framing the subject, including a vast among of its surroundings. So, extreme, pag sinabi natin extreme, like sobrang over, diba? So, ito yung mga landscape, seascape. Also, we have the full shot or the whole body shot wherein you can see the whole body of the character para malaman natin kung ano yung mga actions niya. Both extreme long shot and the long shot or the wide shot can be used as an establishing shot. Yun nga lang, yung extreme long shot, mas malapat nga lang yung space na makakain niya. Also, we have the medium long shot or the medium shot or the waist shot. Pag sinabi natin medium shot or waist shot, syempre hanggang waist. Syempre, hindi nyo makita, di ba? Frames the subject from waist up. It is commonly used for newscasting or interviews because it directs the viewers to the subject. Another is the close-up shot, bust shot. Yung mga mukha and liig lang yung makikita, ganun. Parang pang-ID, diba? Close-up shot, it is a tight framing of a person or an object. So this is often used to highlight the details of your subject, such as yung mga eye movement niya, mannerisms, minimal yet impactful moments. Another is yung mga extreme close-up shot. Kung mayroon tayong close-up shot, ito yung extreme close-up shot. Yung mga mata lang, di ba? Yung mga eyeballs lang makikita or yung mga tigyawat mo lang yung makikita. Huwag din naman i-zoom yung aking pagmamagha. So, extreme close-up shot, it frames the subject very tightly. Ito yung mas detailed. Kung sa close-up shot, you can see the emotions of the character or the subject. The extreme close-up shot, you can see the details. For example, sa close-up shot, pag parang naiiyak na siya, yung mga umiiyak na yung character. In extreme close-up shot, you focus on the eyes of the character to establish the tears. Also, we have different kinds of shots like the over-the-shoulder shot, which is mostly used for dialogues, and the reverse shot, babaliktarin mo lang yung over-the-shoulder shot. Then we have the insert shot. Pag ginagamit yung insert shot, for example, tiningnan ng character yung relo to establish na he or she is checking the time. So, of course, mag-i-insert shot ka ng kamay niya na may relo. We also have the angles, the camera angles. To remind yourselves about different movies that you have watched, or if you are going to watch another movie, please remember this code so that you'll know the true meaning behind the use of those cinematographic codes. We have the high angle shot. So it is used to establish inferiority. It is used to make the subject look weak. Kasi kung yung angle mo nandito sa taas, meaning nakatingala siya. So, ano yung tinitingala niya, di ba? Syempre, someone who is greater. Now, we have the low angle shot, which is used to empower the subject. Always remember that an interpretation of these codes will always be subjective. It will depend on the viewer's background. We also have camera movements. Ito yung ginagamit mostly in videography or in filmmaking. We have panning. Panning is often used to follow subjects' movements or in establishing the setting of the scene. You move the camera horizontally. Meanwhile, tilting is used similarly as panning, but the camera moves up and down. So, vertical siya. Panning, tilting. We also have a dolly or tracking. So, usually used for emphasis or to show an entrance movement. Pag yung subject na move, susundan din siya. Now, we have the point of view or the handheld shot. It makes the footage more engaging because the audience takes a character's view. Ito yung you allow the audience to be in place, to be in the situation of the character. So, ayun yung 3 types of codes. We have, again, symbolic, technical, and the written codes. So, symbolic, you use, of course, symbols. Written, you use text or language, and the technical, you use equipment. Now, let us move on to conventions. Convention refers to a standard or norm that acts as rule governing behavior. Conventions are generally established and accepted ways of doing something. So, meron tayong 3 types of convention. We have the form convention, story convention, and the genre conventions. So, in form conventions, these are certain ways we expect types of media codes to be arranged. In films, there should be a title at the beginning and credits at the end. Newspapers have a masthead, headline, and different sections. So, yung form conventions, it is kung paano dapat gawin yung isang media. Now, we have story conventions. Story conventions are common narrative structures and understandings that are common in storytelling media products. Merong setting, dapat merong climax, may conflict, may resolution. That is a story convention. And the third is the genre convention. Genre conventions are common use of tropes, characters, settings, or themes in a particular type of medium. So, genre conventions are closely linked with audience expectations. Paano mo malalaman that a certain movie is a horror movie? So, dapat merong use of blood, patay-patay, multo. In a Pinoy drama, yung mayaman yung babae, mahirap yung lalaki, tapos inaapi sila ng pamilya. Ganun. Sa mga action scenes, especially in Filipinos, dapat naka-leather jacket yung bida. Ganun yung expectation dito sa Philippines. We also have the audience. So, the audience is the group of people who are exposed to the media content. Sila yung consumer. Meanwhile, we have the producers. Syempre, sila yung nagpo-produce. We have the directors, the writers, the editors. They are the people engaged in the process of making or creating the media content to make a finished media product. While we have the stakeholders or the libraries, archives, museums, internet, and other relevant information providers. So that is it, yo guys, and I hope that you have learned something from me today. And sana na-explain ko siya ng maayos. So let us not just receive information, let us analyze first the media codes and languages because media has different meanings or different messages that they want to send to the audience. Thank you so much, and I hope I will see you next time.